popping in. This is the Yan the Boys podcast. We're gonna have 7 people here talking about everything from Call of Duty to the fall of democracy, basically everything in between. So, just for the start here, we have 7 individuals going to partake in this marvelous conversation. So, from left to right, top to bottom, we have Almeida.
Hello, good evening.
We have the classic Gibra,
Fala aí, tranquilo?
the marvelous Lucas,
Hello, hello.
the phosphorus Omar,
Phosphorus.
the pickleless Rico,
What up, guys?
and the magnesium Zion.
Yalla, hello.
So, the question of today: what's up with Call of Duty Cold War?
It exists, and I think that's something that we have to take into consideration going forward. Like, that just can't happen, man.
Step number 1, right? Admitting that it exists.
Wait, when is it coming
Facts,
out? When is it
facts.
coming out?
Well, we don't know that yet. I assume later. Well, it's gonna be this year. I'm assuming maybe
It's gonna
late
be this year.
October,
Mhm.
or maybe early
Nah,
October.
the leaked reveal date was November, actually.
And
Like,
it's
who-
okay.
it was
who's-
November.
Who's making the game again? It's Activision and is it Treyarch? It's not
Treyarch,
Treyarch.
Treyarch,
Is it
yeah.
Treyarch?
Almost like, cara,
Wow.
let's
Yeah.
go, cara.
Treyarch.
uh,
uh,
Treyarch.
Treyarch.
Like a Thanksgiving gift. Yeah, probably. Well, usually they come out around Christmas, but this time for the past few years it's been a bit earlier. So yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna be
It's Black Ops as
thank
well,
you.
no?
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 We saw
Treyarch
Frank
games
Woods in the Warzone event, and we see him in the promotional trailer. So yeah, we know it's gonna be in the Black Ops universe.
I
So
think
my
Treyarch
question-
games have been the best Call of Duty games. Just
Mhm.
voicing my opinion out there.
So, I have
I've
a
grown up
question
with
then.
these games.
So, I have a question then. I personally think the last Call of Duty game sucked. I think Black Ops 4 sucked. I think all these last Call of Duty games sucked. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is where Call of Duty kind of gets back on track? The Call of Duty Black Ops spirit goes back to representing Call of Duty.
I want to say something about that actually. I think Call of Duty has already tried to do that once with Call of Duty World War II, and that was a flop. We all know that was
Mhm.
terrible. The game was good. The gameplay was decent. It had some features. It was nice, but like I don't know. It was a flop, right? It didn't work out. So I hope that this game is not going to turn out just exactly like how Sledgehammer made World War II. I think that hopefully this game it implements things that Treyarch has implemented on past games. And when I mean past games, I mean mostly Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. After I started playing Black Ops 3 in my young teenage years, I thought it was already a little bit distant from the standard boots on the ground, things that everyone loves from the standard Call of Duty games. So I think that if they go into an approach that they used to, it would be a great game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I kind of want to add to that. First you said that like is Call of Duty coming back now? I feel like they started making that comeback with Modern Warfare 2019. It's a really good game. I think that I wouldn't say it's maybe the best Call of Duty game, but we've seen a lot of new things coming in this game. Well, not a new a new battle royale, but it's not a new concept for Call of Duty with Black Ops 4. But the biggest thing is the new engine, and I feel like that new engine allows the developers to make so much more of Call of Duty. And yeah, I also agree that like Call of Duty World War II was kind of an attempt at a comeback. The good thing about Sledgehammer is that they really knew how to bring in new concepts into the game, right? Like with advanced
Yeah,
warfare and jetpacks, and with Call of Duty World War II, they actually brought in a pretty cool campaign with a lot of new features that
It was decent. I really liked the features,
yeah.
but it was a flop, sadly.
it just wasn't that great of a game. But I think that Call of Duty is making a comeback, and this new title will certainly, like fix in this. Like this is the comeback.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the
Just-
main
just-
question.
Just on a
Yeah, go
side
ahead,
note,
go
like Gibra over here is gonna be getting periodically kidnapped by radical terrorists. So like, bear with him.
If you guys can still hear me, I don't know how my audio is, but
Yeah.
I was gonna add that. I was gonna add that Modern Warfare really changed like Call of Duty. Honestly, they basically changed the game engine, which was like super old. It was like a 10-year-old game engine, which the graphics were like absolute garbage up until like Black Ops 4. It wasn't like nowhere near the industry standard, which Battlefield set, for example. So honestly, when Modern Warfare released the new engine and like basically changed the game for Call of Duty, I think it revived the series like entirely. Because then it's not the same thing as just like recycling content every year. Now they're actually having to work towards providing new, like basically a new look to the game, right? So I think it really like refreshes the series, honestly.
And like the thing
It was
is,
a big
like,
change.
so many people are looking forward for new games this year because there have not been that many launches. So this is the one big thing that we're like looking forward to, and like if it's actually gonna be that good, because I think they already said that Zombies was
Yeah.
gonna come out, that the multiplayer they already revealed the multiplayer gameplay, and the campaign is like supposedly like has the most hype, right? People are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a lot for it not to be a disappointing game.
Yeah,
And I think
the
that I
hype
think
has
they
been
know
building
it.
up.
And I think they know it because like they had the whole event with Warzone, and I think that's what they're trying to nail. I think they're trying to prove it to their fans that they're coming back. But really, you guys were saying that they're adding a lot, but how much can they really add? How much will they really add? Because I think
Yeah.
knowing them, they're probably not going to add too much because whatever they do, even if it's an amazing new feature, they're still going to have a lot of bad press with it. But
Yeah,
even if they didn't
yeah,
change it,
true.
they're still gonna get a lot of bad press. I think it's gonna be a lose lose situation, but I don't think they're gonna add anything really.
I
Like
feel
In
it's
like
my
that's yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
in my opinion, like coming from a standpoint in which all the games that I have bought from the Call of Duty franchise, I had my fair share of low-ranking games, having been my first game, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and then I also bought my latest game was Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Um, I feel like this upcoming game, I have a controversial kind of like
Sorry.
theory to it, is that like it will, it will be a good game, of course. Call of Duty, I think they have a lot of high introspect for this game coming up, but I think they'll have to overcome 2 points. People nowadays, especially after Fortnite and then also Call of Duty Modern Warfare, excuse me, Warzone specifically, people are getting too used to free games. Free games is the new market, and it's been like that for since 2017, since the launch of Fortnite. And that is the main reason why the Call of Duty franchise has been picking up over the last few times. Because after Fortnite, we had a few flops of Call of Duty games, then we had Warzone, which was the first free one we've seen, and it skyrocketed. And B, I feel like touching on I don't remember who said it. They don't have that much to add. You know, they have already like Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They like, look, we're gonna have this multiplayer, then we're gonna have the zombies part of it, and we're gonna also introduce this battle royale part of it. So they introduced a completely different gameplay in Black Ops 4, and then they're switching so many things around, and they're giving us so many new things. I don't know what they'll have to add that will make this game significantly different than like a World War II, which probably in like me specifically, I've already forgotten about it, and I've only remembered until you guys brought it up since recently because it wasn't that much of an impactful game. Whether
It is a forgettable game.
It is.
yeah,
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be a very good game, but you know,
It's just like it's basically another Call of Duty, right? I
Yeah.
think the next Call of Duty, they're never gonna be able to get like another MW2 or another BO2 again. It's never gonna reach that level, honestly.
But like
Because those games were really like game changing when they were released, and it's like near impossible, really, for them to get that nostalgia feeling
Yeah.
that you get when you play those two games.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
because like
let's
originally this like it was sort of this it's because the original idea, like the original ideas of BO2 and the original ideas of like MW2, those were the game changers. That's where like the game changed. And like after that they're simply just like recreating what has already happened. Of course there can be like some pretty good games like MW3, and I'd personally even consider BO3, but it comes to a point where like FIFA, it just gets too repetitive. So there isn't much that they can add, and there's so much that they can change with like in terms of like gameplay, because we're all used to like the regular Call of Duty where you just like run and gun and just I don't know.
Yeah, and that's where I feel Modern Warfare came in. And just to touch up on the fact that the new engine and just, like new game features and this new dynamic of like peeking corners and being able to just have so much more of that gun loadout customization thing with the gunsmith. All of those things were really game changing. So it was almost like a new, well, not necessarily, and I don't think it's as impactful as Modern Warfare 2 was and as Black Ops 2 was, but it really just kind of revived some things for the franchise. And with that being said, I think that Cold War will follow in the same footsteps. It will have a gunsmith. It will have not crouching, but like peeking around corners, all of that stuff. But I would like to see them add something new, and I would like to see that being reflected into Warzone.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't think it's gonna happen, mostly because they're gonna want to keep Warzone as like this stable and um stable in terms of gameplay, but also like they might change the map or something like that. So I think that they are gonna add some things maybe to the campaign, which are not gonna be reflected into multiplayer and Warzone.
But that really makes me think, because like I personally think that Treyarch and Sledgehammer and whatever, they have sucked the teeth dry. They're beating a dead horse. Because if you think about it, you're saying about adding old features. Think about their latest releases. They had the Modern Warfare remaster, and they had another remaster that's just a campaign. Both of them are remasters. They're not creating anything new. And the whole thing with advertising Cold War wasn't advertising their new features or whatever. It was proving to the audience that they had the old features, such as zombies, and like their whole thing was advertising Woods, this lovable character from the other games. So like I really think that they know that their franchise is kind of they're not creating. It's like it's still strong in terms of sales. I feel like even with hits such as like even with flops such as World War II, I feel they're still strong. But I feel like they know that they're not the top dog in terms of innovation as they were before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
because like I think that it's gonna be hard to beat what they were before. Even, like, I might be saying this from the point of view of like someone who hasn't played Call of Duty, so like my opinion doesn't matter. But like, I get that like most of the good games, the games that are considered like the best, they're there because of nostalgia. Because like everyone played them when they were like little kids, when just getting into the genre, and that was the thing. And like I mean, I have games like that too. That like I look back and I couldn't be able to like point to a flaw in them if I wanted to, even though it's like the worst game in the world. So like that's the thing with these games. They're always gonna be trying to like fall into a standard that they can't fall into. Like everything is always not gonna be as good as Black Ops 1 or not as good as like Modern Warfare, because everyone's gonna be comparing to those. So like I think if we want to like enjoy Call of Duty Cold War, we have to like take that into consideration. We're gonna have to look at it with like, okay, this is a new thing. It might be not be the same as the things before, but it might be better in some ways.
Yeah.
Forget the old
I
games.
really want to talk about the beating the dead horse theory. I politely disagree that they are actually out of ideas. I think that, Treyarch being Treyarch, they are game developers. This is their job. Their job is to innovate, right? And their job is to contract new people who have new ideas. So I think that they most likely will not have a shortage on ideas. I think that the way that they made their games in the past, with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and then Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4, they were really good. I really liked how the changes from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3 were implemented, because, for example, in Advanced Warfare, the exosuits and whatnot, that was hugely crazy, and people didn't really like that. So what they did in Black Ops 3 was give a kind of a double jump, or give some type of jetpack, but not to the extent of the exosuit, right? So they did implement, while still they did innovate, know how they are going to implement the nostalgia factor, because I personally think, I'm sure that Treyarch is going to manage to innovate with Cold War. In any ways, I have no idea how, but they are great minds. I really like that developer, but I really am excited to see how they implement the nostalgia with the innovation. If they manage to do that perfectly, that is going to be a hit game, because the nostalgia factor is one of the, like Almeida said, like most of you agree, that it is one of the biggest selling points for a game. It is a game that it is a strategy that helps get sales. It helps people look at that game and be like, wow, I remember my childhood from playing this, right? So I think that with the implementation of innovation
Oh shit!
would make it
I dropped the
would make
cap.
the game another masterpiece, because if they manage to also innovate, it will not only attract the audience that is older, that loved the previous ones, but also a new audience. For example, the new children, the new kids who are getting into this now. And so yeah, that's basically what I have to say.
I just want to
I
really
think
quickly
I
add.
think that they seriously. Yeah,
I
go
just want
ahead.
to like really quickly add that Treyarch has always been great at refining concepts that previous developers have put into their to Call of Duty. So
Yes,
Zion
yes,
mentioned the
yes.
jetpacks and the walking on walls and all that stuff. They went to Black Ops 3. They took everything people didn't like and they said, okay, goodbye with this. This is how it's gonna be. And with I assume Cold War, they're gonna maybe refine upon what Modern Warfare did. And I think that's gonna be a great way to bring
Yes.
excitement to the franchise.
There's also the
I think that they seriously like overuse the nostalgia factor. Honestly, like in my opinion, they overhype the game like every year so much that it honestly gets annoying. Like with every single trailer, the game they like they market the hell out of Woods. For Modern Warfare, they market the hell out of Captain Price. I think they
Right.
exploit these things that like they did in the past. So like obviously Captain Price was like a huge like franchise defining character in the past, and they know this, so they like market them so much and overhype their games so much every year. I seriously think that like they will improve. I think that they can refine the game. However, it's honestly gonna be it honestly is overhyped in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm so glad that you said that. One second, this will be quick. Um, I'm so glad that you talked about them overhyping the nostalgia factor. I genuinely think that people who used to play games for the nostalgia factor are getting tired out because of the nostalgia. It's too much nostalgia. Like they're just throwing it in your face. Nostalgia, feel the nostalgia,
Mhm.
and you're just like, okay, I already felt enough nostalgia, and you already gave us a shit ton of flops. So what's the deal, right? Cold War needs to
True,
be a
exactly.
Yeah, I
I,
think
So yeah,
Yeah.
that
they
brings me
can't.
to like my point. How many other Captain like, how many other prices in Woods did we see after Modern Warfare and Black Ops?
I think 0, to be completely honest, but
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Well,
No, but they
but the thing is,
they
like,
rebooted the series, right?
yeah. Well, what the thing is, in this series in particular, the Call of Duty series, they've been around for a long time, you know. And when you look at game variety between every single edition of the game, you compare it to like, you know, Assassin's Creed, where they can choose from a plateau of different events that happened throughout the history of mankind. You know, they went back to like the Vikings and then the Egyptians and then like the 1700s. But then you look at like FIFA, where you're or NBA, where you're playing one sport and the sport doesn't really change. You know, Call of Duty nowadays, in my critical opinion, is approaching more of the FIFA side of the spectrum. You know, they're pushing in things that don't really create much of a difference. I feel
yeah,
like they're out looking towards the nostalgia part of it because they don't really have much else to add. You know, they created a
I
game based
agree.
off a war that didn't really have like, any armed conflict. The Cold War
Mm,
itself, not Vietnam or Korea or anything. The Cold War itself was just espionage, you know?
I
and
agree.
that's honestly, that is true, and I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with you. But with the thing about like overhyping the nostalgic feeling, I can agree with that to a certain degree. Campaign wise, obviously, like they made their like main hits, and those main hits were amazing. But honestly, pushing like showing the same characters, claiming that that person really didn't die just to make more money out of it. That is, I believe, like money wise, like people will like still buy the game because like I just want to see how it is. But however, it is slowly killing the franchise, and it is like harming them like in the long run. Call of Duty wise, Black Ops wise, I think that although they're hyping the campaign a lot, there are several different communities they're also looking forward to the game. For example, zombies. So we saw zombies in like several other non-Black Ops games, and those were complete failures. But when it's an actual Black Ops, although Black Ops 4 wasn't as good as the past ones, but when like there's a zombie present, zombies present, and using the same storyline and the same characters from before, I really think that that has a lot of potential.
Um, but they have to be careful, honestly, because what they did with Black Ops 3 and like Black Ops 4 is that they like integrated those like those gum things and like loot boxes, and they integrated all sorts of stuff to the game. Which honestly, a lot of people liked those gum perks, but like honestly, for me, like it sucked. Like, because I barely played zombies. I only played to like do the Easter egg once, and then like having to be forced to either grind or buy those perks in order to be like good at the Easter egg. That sucked, honestly. But a majority of the try hard zombies community like that. Like, so overall, I think it's a good addition.
I
I
really want to
completely
talk about
agree.
zombies. Like how I just want to say straight up that I am sad that the original story of Richtofen, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Takio ended with Black Ops 4, and I am really excited, but at the same time slightly um, thinking about it how they are going to implement zombies on the Cold War, because everyone knew the OG story, right? The OG story, it went through all the games, not like just the campaign was Woods died and then whatever, or like you became some other character. No, it was always the same characters, it was always the same story, you were always trying to get to some point. While the objective changed, it was always the same characters, and you always had that nostalgia, right? Again, with the nostalgia. But um
I have a quick
yeah.
question for you. Do you, or for everyone actually, is it possible that they're going to reboot the zombies Aether storyline, however you say it, the Takio and Richtofen, and
Yeah,
or
that's the thing.
100%.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
For
So
sure, for
that's
sure.
why zombies is so different from multiplayer. In multiplayer, like they're just pushing it to the degree where it's honestly it's just bad. But in zombies, like we all want to see like the same group from the beginning, because although the story is over, like those are like the zombie characters that we grew up with, and change
Yeah.
is risky. If they don't do it well, it will become a disappointment, like the past couple of zombies in the
I
past couple
disagree.
of games.
It's like in the end of MW3, they like everyone died. Everyone either died or like their character arcs ended, and then Infinity Ward had to figure out a way to bring back the franchise because they know that like a Call of Duty titled Modern Warfare, they know it's gonna sell. So they basically like rebooted the franchise. Like they didn't care if Captain Price was good or bad in the next one. They just rebooted the franchise.
Yeah,
So I
that's like.
think that honestly
Oh, sorry.
they would like reboot zombies. Honestly,
I really hope they don't. I just
I
want to say that. I really hope they don't. I want to see
What else could
new
they do with this
inventions.
storyline? In my opinion, yeah, it's a great
I
storyline.
want to
I've played it a lot of times.
I want
But
to
what
see
else could they do with
another
it?
Aether storyline. I want to see a new one that slams it even harder. That's what I want to see
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
but the
Treyarch.
thing is,
My
like,
standards
I
are here.
remember, like,
Expectations.
okay, Origins. Wow, that's crazy. Like they got the robots. That's okay, basic. And then you go their eyes and track. Wow, they're gonna get the guy's clone, and then whoa, and then they're already moving everything like a level up. And then you have that last map, Revelations, where they just temporal discharges and like people are everywhere. There's every single map. Like, what else can you do off of that? You can't like it's not like you can make it more. I'm gonna say crazier, but like you can make it more unique than it was in Revelations.
Yeah, that's kind of what Black Ops 4 tried to do and failed miserably. They tried to, and like that is the ending of the story. Like you just have to accept that is how it ended. If you guys haven't seen the cutscene, they basically just all Nikolai actually poisons everyone,
Nikolai kills everyone.
and then he asks Samantha to shoot him in the head. So that's
Spoiler
just
alert.
spoiler alert. They all die.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they tried to do, and it didn't really work. And
Another kidnapping there.
I personally feel like they can add another story of 4 different, or maybe like they'll make it different type of like dynamic, like maybe 6-player zombie or 5-player zombies, whatever.
That would be
Yes.
A
smart.
new
That would be smart.
new characters, a new story, completely unrelated to like Samantha, to the Apothecons, to whatever. Kind of how like kind of what they try to do in Black Ops 4, but this time
Black Ops.
actually follow through with one storyline that works
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
An idea that we could possibly see is the 9 characters, which I think they're 9, and then I'm not sure if that's a Coliseum map. I haven't played a lot of Black Ops 4 any at all, but we saw a group of characters in at least 2 maps. So maybe that's the story they're gonna carry out with. I don't know. I think they should make new characters.
I really just
Yeah,
hope that the
I
story
think
that they
there's 100% like a really long ways to go, and but like you have to watch out because like, for example, if we think back to Black Ops 2, they tried doing that. They did that with the crew where they had like the homeless looking guy, the redneck or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Trap.
I don't think it really went anywhere decent. So like I feel like there is a long ways to go, and they could make characters on the same level, and they should make it instead of rebooting it. But it kind of like makes me think. No, actually, forget about that. Forget about that.
So here's the thing. Pode falar, pode falar.
I'm just gonna say that like I am never in my life going to understand the zombie storyline. Like
Yeah, the zombie storyline is very
Yeah.
very complicated, and that's exactly where I wanted to go. So I'm 100% sure that once they started with the is it Prisma the name with the Prisma storyline, the Richtofen and whatever, they did not know where that would go. They started just they did
No,
that
no.
map. They were like, oh, that
Right.
blew up. I'm gonna just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what made it good by a matter of luck, but that's what also fucked it up big time. Because what
Mhm.
happened was like, oh, I just want to keep pushing. I just want to keep milking the same franchise. And although the franchise was good, the ending was terrible because they didn't plan it right. So
Yeah.
if they properly planned the zombie storyline and properly like followed through with its entirety and not keep adding more like episode 2s in the next like Call of Duties to come, and just like plan something and do it well, execute it well, and then just leave it at that. I think that has a better possibility of working. Because to be honest, this same thing happened in Fortnite actually. Like they began with Fortnite, and then they like, oh, season 2, season 3, season whatever. I think we're in like season like 8 or 9, something like that. And like they just
10,
kept
10.
adding like as if it was like a campaign. Like they kept adding like stories in a battle royale, and that just completely ruined the game for me at least.
was there a
It's like as a
storyline to
business, they're
Fortnite?
afraid to
Yeah,
die.
there
They're
was.
completely afraid
There
to die.
was.
Yeah, it's just like the thing that a mistake that businesses make in general a lot with like their characters is that they just like there comes a point where they're like, yo, this thing makes me mad money. I'm just gonna like completely ignore everything that I've done with this character and just try to milk it dry. Like they give him a character arc, right? Like they
I'm gonna
make
kill
it a
myself real quick,
good
hold up.
solution. Like they just like give him a good character arc. They try to like give him a good story. They give him a good personality, and that works because people like good characters that like have love and like actually like effort put into them. But then there comes a point where they're just like, I just want to keep going with this, even though there's no story left to tell. Like they just kind of ignore all of the characters' traits, everything the character's been through, the character's like character arc, and they just milk it. And then the character stops feeling like a character. It just feels like something in a game. Like it breaks the immersion, it breaks the story, it just breaks everything.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened in Black Ops 4. To be completely honest, I was disappointed with the Revelations Easter egg. I remember everyone was trying to find like a hidden cutscene that
Yeah.
was like, oh yes, this will be the next thing. This is the actual ending. Oh, the real Easter egg, whatever. But I was happy with it because it kind of said, okay, it's a cycle, guys. We go to Primus, we do whatever, we go through all the adventure, we end up in Revelations, and just to be reset again. Then in Black Ops 4, they just were like, okay, guys, let's just make this so that we can make some more cash off of these characters, and that's exactly what happened. I completely agree with Almeida.
Yo,
Black
who's in
Ops
the
4
middle
was
of
a
like
scam,
Hurricane
honestly.
Katrina right now?
Something else that we barely talked about was the actual campaign, and I think I heard this somewhere. I don't know if it's true that there's gonna be multiple endings, right? And that's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
that's a pretty nice approach that they're gonna be taking,
Now-
because you sort of get to pick where it's going, and that could be interesting.
It's like the Black Ops 2 style, right? They did
Yeah.
it with Black Ops
Yeah.
2 as well.
What I think is gonna happen is it's gonna be a Battlefield 4 type of deal where in the like last scene you get to choose like 2 options. I'd like it to not be that, but I think it's gonna be that since it's the easiest.
Yeah, because like the sooner they branch out, the more work it would be, because then they'd have to
Exactly.
create the entire thing for every single one of the choices, and that
Yeah.
and like I don't like I think Ibra, you told me that it's being developed by by a different company, which means that they've been working on it for a lot more than a year, right? So
It's
like,
been like 3 years.
although
I think.
Call of Duties like 2 Call of Duties come out per year, like one in the beginning and one in the end, I think it's by different developers, so they do have in fact the time to like properly like design the game. So we can be expecting a lot more.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
something that
sorry, 1 second. They have like a cycle between like 3 companies. So like
Well,
or
Sledgehammer
two
just
companies now.
was kicked out of
Yeah,
the
Sledgehammer dropped.
cycle.
So they have
Get
like a
fucked.
3-year cycle of developing Call of Duty and releasing it. I think it should be like 6 years honestly, but I guess it works in 3 or 2 years. Yeah, go ahead,
something
Omar.
something that like really attracted me to like playing the Call of Duty Cold War and like buying it was the possible idea that it was gonna have like a bit of choice into it, because like I'm a sucker for choice based games, right? I'm a sucker for any kind of customization that you can have in a game. I don't know. I just like that. I just like being able to put yourself out there in the world and like really explore it like that. But that's the thing. Like, how much choice are they going to be able to put into it? Knowing Call of Duty and like knowing the way that it's just not built to be a choice-based game usually, I don't know what they're going to do. What I've told you guys before is that like I think what could work is they go for like a Red Dead Redemption 2 route, especially since they're going for like something similar to that, like the honor system, especially since they're going for the Cold War, where like you can make choices about whether you're gonna like kill a civilian or not, because there's a lot of war crimes involved. They could go for that, and then based on your like honor, you get a different ending. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. That's what I would do. And on that note,
sorry.
my bladder is about to explode. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I really doubt what Almeida said. Just gonna quickly add that, and something I kind of want to touch upon is what Omar mentioned and what Gibra mentioned. The cycle of Call of Duty, right? It's kind of been like Assassin's Creed, where we've been getting a new one every year. And do you guys think that Activision will make the decision that Ubisoft made, being like, no, we're gonna take some time. We're not gonna pump out one new Call of Duty every year. Instead, we're gonna get our stuff together and just make a good
I
game that isn't recycled.
I completely agree
They
with
make
that.
too much money
I
for
feel like
that.
they should have done that with Warzone. Quite frankly, I feel like Warzone was the GTA 5 of the Call of Duty franchise. They were supposed to hold it out for a long time because people are still playing that, it's like the next BO2, and they had a game accompanying that. Warzone wasn't even the entire game, but pumping out one game per year now and having it be paid is in my opinion not a good option, even though I understand that the revenues will not be in favorable to the companies that are making the video games. However, I feel like if they want to keep their popularity up, which is in my opinion their biggest concern now, because they are afraid that they will eventually die out, I feel like they should have taken that route instead of this one.
But I think like a game of quality, I don't think it can be free to play, honestly. Because like you're talking about how to be popular, they would have to do it free to play. I understand that's like something that works. The mobile gaming market is like skyrocketing because of that. But I feel like if you think about like every single game that actually has a lot of quality and doesn't have some cheap things such as like
Like
loot boxes or whatever. They all were
award-winning games.
they all, yeah, they're all like they were all like full price, $60 price.
And
So I feel like for them to actually pour a lot of money into making a quality game, they would have to price it. But even so, I feel like they're not doing that. For them to take like the Ubisoft route, like even Ubisoft themselves, they stopped producing it like the same one per years thing. But then after that, after they got their system in place
Welcome back.
with Origins,
It's
with
kidnapping number
Origins,
Thank
3.
you.
with Origins, they just went up. They just went back to pumping they just went back to repeating their formula again. It's like their third game with the exact same formula.
Yeah, I think there's some value to that. Like, obviously, when you find a formula that first is like fun to play, right? Because fun games will bring money, and second, that are more profitable. Like the whole um season pass idea, that brings a lot of money into the video game industry. If you think Fortnite, they made a fortune. I'm sure that Activision is making a fortune off of the Warzone battle passes. So I think that they're kind of changing a bit the formula, right? They're okay. Hey, this is the battle royale formula, and we're gonna implement it into our Call of Duty formula, and we're gonna make a massive amount of cash. So I think that, yeah, we're gonna keep seeing this formula, but it's because the formula works.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that also like obviously the sector of the game that had more like development put into was obviously the campaign. And in the campaign there aren't really cosmetics, there aren't really loot boxes and things that you can open. So they would obviously have to like capitalize that. So also something that I'd like to mention was the fact that in Warzone, like although it wasn't entirely like what I'm gonna say, but like it was like to a certain extent pay to win. Because you could buy the packages where there are several gun customizations that you could unlock with a couple like weeks of grinding, but like right off the bat you already buy the game, you can buy the like 2 best guns in the store, already apply that and just go for it. And I'm sure they made a lot of money from that. And keep in mind that it's only Warzone that's free, right? The actual Modern Warfare, which is
Multiplayer
like,
is paid, yeah.
yeah, everything
$60.
else is paid. And like keep in mind that like these battle royales like Fortnite, Warzone, like they are free because they make a lot of money with cosmetics. So it would make like although obviously more people would download it, it would make no sense for the developers to make a Cold War free to play.
There'd be no revenue.
And like regardless of the price, people buy Call of Duty every year. Like honestly, they could put it like a $75 Call of Duty, people would still buy it. Like they have no reason to change it like right now because they make so much money like every year. It's if it's working, they're gonna keep it. It's like the only way that they're gonna change it if it's someone like if people boycott the game.
Call of Duty staring at a wall would probably sell, man. Like,
And
Exactly.
that's the other thing. Like it is a game that takes a while to create, but it's so expensive. And what happens is when they launch 2 games a year or 1 game a year, they sort of put a cap to how much we can actually like enjoy the game. Because no more updates are coming out. You need to buy the new version if you want to see new things, and that new version is going to end in a year. So the whole like I don't know, like $100 investment, maybe like less, like $70-$80 investment that you make to like enjoy the game. That like although it's a decently long time, there is a cap to how much you can enjoy playing that game with new features coming out.
All right, guys. So that's going to be it for today's episode. So hopefully, we're going to be moving on to the future, having 2 topics per podcast. We're going to have podcasts that are a little bit longer than this, reaching the 1-hour mark, and a little bit more than that. We're going to be hoping to record 1 podcast per week. So we hope to see you next episode, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
ladies
love
and
you.
gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye.